What's up? How you guys doing? So this is the fourth video on dissecting anime and what I would like in my anime, what I dislike in my anime, what I would love to see in the future. So this one is going to be what I think would make the ultimate shonen anime, right? Okay, so the ultimate shonen anime would pretty much take stuff from a whole bunch of different shonen anime that I like. Number one, I would like a main character who's similar to Luffy. I love Luffy being like this dumb, over the top, extra goofy character. I love characters like that as the main character. Okay, so Luffy would be a main character that's similar to Luffy. Next, I love world building like One Piece, so the world would be very similar to One Piece's world. Okay, number three, because I feel like a lot of this is a thing that's really underrated about a lot of anime is that a lot of anime do not have a lot of world building like One Piece does. One Piece has a lot of good world building. And I feel like that's a problem with a lot of shonen anime is a lot of shonen anime, they're not detailed enough, and I feel like a lot of them don't have a lot of effort and don't have enough effort. Now I know that every show cannot be One Piece. I know every show cannot have backstories for 1,000 characters and have extremely good world building for a continuous story. It's like really hard to try to compare other mangaka to Oda because Oda is a freaking super machine. He makes anime so fast it's like not even funny. I mean, he makes chapters and draws chapters so fast it's not even funny. The dude is a literal super machine, and most people cannot compete with that. However, I feel like I wish a lot more mangaka would try to put in that effort. Now, one new manga that I've seen that has tried to do that is what is it called? You guys give me a second. I forgot the name of it. What is it? Hold on. Let me look it up because I don't want to say the wrong name. Let me see. You guys give me a second. Let me see. Eden Zero. Eden Zero is an example of basically Eden Zero is kind of like One Piece in space, and I really enjoy Eden Zero because of that reason. Um, and I wish that a lot more anime shows, I mean, a lot more manga and anime shows and manga would do this and would improve with this. Because I'm one of those people, I like uniqueness, but I like very deep world building. I just love really good world building. I love really deep character stories. I love different character designs. And I feel like most anime manga should try to be more like One Piece in the sense of making your world extremely vast, extremely detailed, extremely beautiful, and feel like a world that's actually lived in versus feeling like you're just going from chapter to chapter and the world doesn't feel that vast. It doesn't feel interconnected. It doesn't really feel very deep. It doesn't feel rich, if that makes sense. Um, so that's one thing that I would like in my ultimate anime and manga would be a anime and manga that has an extremely deep world, and I feel like it's underrated in that more anime manga should do this. Next would be way deeper and more interesting backstories that don't feel overly cliche or overused. Now the problem is a lot of the time a lot of anime mangaka do not try to see to try to create. They do not try to create deep backstories enough for me. That's how I see it. It looks like a lot of them aren't really putting in 10 out of 10 effort when it comes to backstories. And I'm a guy who really loves unique backstories. I don't like it for it to just be a simple backstory. Like, I don't want it to just be like, oh yeah, this character got bullied and that's why they're evil now. No, I want more to that. Now, for example, I might let it slide if you have thousands of characters. But even if you do like an old cliche backstory, like it's like, oh, both of the parents died, I want to see more to that. Who killed the parents? Was it the best friend of our main character that is a part of the backstory, meaning our main villain, etc., or was it his cousin? Did his parents kill each other? I want something more deep into that. Meaning you can use cliche backstories, but you need to make it unique. You get what I'm saying? Versus it just being like, oh, both of his parents got killed by some evil dude, whatever. It's like make that deeper, put more into that, put more effort into an old cliche backstory. Um, that's something else that I want. Number three would be more unique character designs, and more unique villains with more swag and style to them. Now, what people don't understand is when you're creating a villain character, or even just a character in general, you want your character to have a certain type of motivation, personality, clothes, style when it comes to their clothes, and fighting style, because these things 100% can make or break your character. So I would like to see more unique characters with cooler designs, cool powers, and nicer clothes. Um, and I would like for them to have a very good backstory, and I would like for them to have a unique place where they grew up. For example, I do like hearing when a character is like grows up on some faraway island that's 1,000 miles away, or they grew up on a different planet or something like that. That makes me like the character more because that's more unique versus it being like, oh, this character actually grew up in the same town as the main character. That's stupid as hell. I don't want it to be that cliche. Oh, they were in the same city. It's just like, come on, bro. Give us something deeper. They came from a freaking planet that's 10,000 miles away, and their parents sent them here from a teleporter or something. Give us something more deep, you know. Now, like I said, you should put more. The mangaka should put more effort into it, even if their story is very small. I would like to see that. What else would improve it? More unique fights and more strategies in fights. And the best examples would be Naruto and Hunter x Hunter, because in Hunter x Hunter and Naruto, the characters are very good at having lots of different styles and strategies to their fighting. And strategies can make a fight more interesting than just them punching and kicking each other for an hour and a half. That can become kind of, what's the word, repetitive. All right, I would like to see more strategic characters, them finding unique ways to win a fight, to win a battle, to beat the big bad, or even to beat small villains that they're fighting. A freaking a burglar that jumped into the house or something, a burglar, a freaking small time murder, etc. I want to see more of strategies of beating the characters. Good examples of this would be characters, for example, like Gon in Hunter x Hunter. Gon is very interesting with the way he fights because he's very savage and he doesn't really care about himself. He just cares about winning the fight. For example, if you watch Greed Island, there's a scene where it's literally Gon fighting this guy called the Bomber. And he literally lets the Bomber blow up both of his hands so he can get a hit in. He literally gets both of his hands blown off. And it's so painful to watch, but it's also so freaking interesting because I don't think I've ever seen any other anime where a character straight up just lets a villain blow their hands off because they want to get a hit in. That's a strategy in itself that's freaking crazy. And I love stuff like that. It's very strategic and very interesting that he would even think about that. There's another example where Gon is trying to get a tag, spoilers, from a character. This character's name is Hisoka. He's trying to get this number tag that's on his chest. It's like a badge. And he literally follows him and sees what he's going to do, and he waits for the perfect time to get the tag. Now you could say that that's not technically a fight, but it's still strategy. And I love when characters are strategizing and trying to find ways to do things. Like, okay, how am I going to get this badge off? You know, okay, how am I going to stop this person? This person has a gun. Okay, there's another scene. There's a scene where there's these characters called the Phantom Troop, spoilers, and they kidnap Killua and Gon. Right, these are the two main characters, and basically there's a whole freaking strategy of they are trying to get away from the Phantom Troop and escape. And what happens is basically they know that the lights are going to go off. So what happens is basically the lights go off, but Gon and Killua closed their eyes before they went off and then opened them, so their eyes are more in tune with the darkness. So when they're fighting the Phantom Troop, they're still trying to adjust their eyes, while Gon and Killua are actually punching and kicking and trying to get out of there. Another cool example of strategy. Another thing that I would like in anime that would be better is to not have the main character be overly strong and overly powerful. Okay, I would like more weaker main characters, which is also something that Hunter x Hunter does that I really like. Because we know for a fact that the main character, the main cast of characters are not strong enough to beat everybody. There's not like this big gap when it comes to them being stronger than everybody else, if that makes sense. Meaning, they can't just steamroll and just punch and kick and beat every villain. No, they have to have strategy because they are lower level. It's like a role-playing game. They're like level 10s, everybody else is like level 70s. And I really like that. And that makes it even more fun when they beat somebody who's 10 times more powerful. And there's not a shield of strength. I'll give you an example of a shield of strength. A shield of strength is Dragon Ball Z, meaning that in Dragon Ball Z, if a character is twice as stronger than another character, then they have this invisible shield where they're not powerful enough to even scratch the character. An example of this would be Trunks and Krillin when he becomes Perfect Cell. They're punching and kicking Perfect Cell, but it's not doing no damage. He can't even feel it. Another example of this would be from Dragon Ball Super, Jiren. Jiren is so strong that Goku's punches and kicks don't do no damage. Another example of this would be Frieza. Frieza is so strong that Krillin, Piccolo, and Gohan can't even touch him. He's so powerful. Frieza is one of the first examples of extreme strength. Of course, he's all, King Piccolo is the blueprint to that. People always say that Frieza invented that. No, King Piccolo was going crazy back in the day in Dragon Ball. But these would be things that I would also like in my perfect anime. I don't want to make this video too long, so I will see you guys in the next